we also have the example of the Apostle Peter. You remember that Peter preached the gospel to Cornelius, but it was an angel that came to Cornelius and actually put him in touch or put him in contact with Simon Peter. In other words, the angels give the message to human beings, and then human beings proclaim the gospel to the world. So these three angels represent messages that God sends by the angelic host to us, for us to proclaim to the world. That's fact number one. The three angels represent human beings preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ to the world, particularly God's end-time people. Now let's go to fact number two. We're told, as we read in Revelation 14, that the angels fly in the midst of heaven. This must mean that the messages of the three angels are of heavenly origin. You know, whenever God speaks in the book of Revelation, God's message always comes from above. It always comes from heaven. On the other hand, the powers of Satan come from the sea, from the abyss, and from the earth. In other words, the fact that these three messages are depicted as three angels flying in the midst of heaven, coming from heaven to earth, means that these messages are directly sent by God. They are heavenly messages. Incidentally, in the Bible, to speak of beneath is the realm of Satan. To speak of above is the realm of Jesus Christ. It's the realm of God. So whenever an angel comes from heaven, it means a message from God. James chapter 3, I want you to notice, James chapter 3 tells us this. Speaking about the wisdom that doesn't come from above, it says this wisdom does not descend from above, but is earthly, sensual, demonic. So where does the power of Satan come from? It comes not from above, but from where? From beneath. Revelation chapter 18 verse 1, which we're going to study in this series later on, speaks of a powerful angel that comes down from heaven. And he cries with a mighty voice that Babylon is fallen. And then he calls God's people to come out of Babylon. This message comes with great power from heaven. So fact number two is that the fact that these angels are depicted as flying in the midst of heaven means that these messages are of heavenly origin. They come directly from the throne of God. Fact number three. We're told twice in the three angels' messages that these messages are proclaimed with a loud voice. It's interesting. The Greek word that is used for loud voice is the word megaphone. What word do we get from megaphone? The word megaphone, right? Have you ever heard of megaphone? You know, you use them on campouts. I know at camporees, Pathfinder camporees, you have a megaphone to call all of the pathfinders together. Let me ask you, when you use the megaphone, can you hear the message? You certainly can. And sometimes it's so loud that it actually squeals, and then everybody can hear it. And so that's the word that is used. These messages are of heavenly origin. Human beings are supposed to preach them, and they come with great power because they're proclaimed with a loud voice. In other words, there is no word parsing or political correctness in these messages. This is not some ambivalent doublespeak. There's no mute on the trumpet. It is to be shouted from the rooftops, no matter what the consequences are. The messages are to be proclaimed with utmost power.